Hey everybody, this is Danelle. Hope this finds you doing well. Today we're going to talk about an event-filled week. So much going on in the cryptocurrency space as well as in the macroeconomic landscape as well. But as usual, we're going to start off with the cryptocurrency markets. As you can see, Bitcoin has now dipped below the $17,000 range. It is down nearly 3.5% over the last 24 hours. Ethereum not faring very well either, being down nearly 6% over the last 24 hours, breaking down below that $1,200 mark. And usually, if you see Bitcoin and Ethereum going down, you're going to see the other cryptocurrencies going down, sometimes a lot more than what they are down. As you can see, BNB down 7%, XRP down 5.71%, Dogecoin down nearly 6%, Matic down 6%. So as you can see, the crypto market in general is down over the last 24 hours. And a lot of this probably has to do with the news that we've received this week as the Federal Reserve announced on Tuesday that they are still going to be increasing the interest rates. This one now a little bit lower than they have been in the past. They had, I believe, 4 straight 75 basis point increases, and now they're going down to 50 basis point increases. But as we see here, we still have a long way to go. The Federal Reserve is determined to get the inflation numbers down nearly to 2%. We still have a long ways to go because right now we are at approximately 7%. So earlier this week, we got inflation numbers for the month of November. And the number did come down a little bit than what we saw in October, because in October it was about 7.7%. So it has eased to that 7.1% year over year from last year. But the Federal Reserve is still looking to get that inflation number down. They've said down to around 2%. We're not sure if they're going to continue to hike to get to that low of a level because it may cause them to create some serious economic issues if they continue to raise the rates at this rate the way that they have continuously for the next year. But we shall see how that goes. But when we received this news, the stock market responded, and as you can see, we'll use the benchmark S&P 500 index, and over the past 5 days it is down nearly 2.62%. So right now, currently, the market is reacting negatively to the Federal Reserve rate hike. Many believe that we are going to be going into a recession in 2023. We have already technically gone through a recession because we've had negative GDP numbers for consecutive quarters, but many believe that we could go into more of a recession given the rate hikes that the Federal Reserve is continuing to push. So we'll continue to see what happens with that, but it's going to affect many Americans and many people around the world because we see the macroeconomic landscape is affecting everyone around the world. And as you can see here, the credit card debt statistics for 2022, Americans have a mountain of credit card debt, as it says here in 2022, of $925 billion. Now, that relates to the Federal Reserve rate hikes because interest rates relate to mortgages, any type of financing, including credit cards. So if you see that the debt is nearly $1 trillion basically at this point, that it could potentially get worse because the fact that the interest rates are going up, it may be even harder for people to pay down this debt because now their interest rates are even higher. So if they continue to carry a balance, that's going to be even more money that they have to pay back. And some folks, we hear about all these layoffs that are happening, particularly in the tech sector, but there are a lot of people who are struggling, who do not have jobs, have been laid off, and now they're using their credit card because of the holidays and using the credit card because they don't have the income. And now that the interest rates are getting even higher, it's going to be even more difficult to be able to pay that debt back as the balances are going to be increased because of the interest rate. So we'll continue to keep an eye out on that. So stocks could continue to go down. A lot of folks are saying that we have not yet seen a bottom. As you can see over the past year, we are still in a bear market. The S&P 500 is down over 20% year to date. So most likely we will finish being in a bear market, this being a negative year for the S&P 500. So we're not sure where the bottom is and if the bottom is in yet. So time will tell. So we'll be looking forward to seeing how 2023 starts off and how we're going to continue to move forward with these inflation numbers, hopefully continuing to go down over the next several months. The other big news of the week is the arrest of Sam Bankman-Fried. He was arrested on Monday night in the Bahamas. The U.S. authorities filed criminal charges against Bankman-Fried, and the Bahamian government intend to extradite him once the U.S. officials request it. As far as we know, he has yet to be extradited to the United States. And as you can see here, the U.S. Attorney at the Southern District of New York said earlier this evening Bahamian authorities arrested Sam Bankman-Fried at the request of the U.S. government based on a sealed indictment filed by the SDNY. Now, the indictment has now been unsealed, and Sam Bankman-Fried has been charged on 8 different counts of wire fraud, including securities fraud and conspiracy, according to the indictment that was unsealed the next day on Tuesday morning. And according to the unsealed document, the Department of Justice is alleging that between June of 2022 and November of 2022, Bankman-Fried and others willingly and knowingly did combine, conspire, confederate, and agree together with each other to commit wire fraud. So there are heavy charges being levied against Sam Bankman-Fried. We'll be interested to see who else is going to be arrested and charged. There are other executives in FTX that are most likely complicit in these wire fraud charges. So we should probably be seeing some more information regarding some of those other executives, particularly the head of Alameda Research, which is the hedge fund that a lot of the FTX funds were sent to, and a lot of those customer funds were commingled with Alameda Research funds, and supposedly Alameda Research were using those funds to make very risky trades, and that's partially why the FTX debacle happened and they ended up going bankrupt after there was a bank run. So this is the latest with regards to what's happening with Sam Bankman-Fried and the FTX debacle. We'll definitely stay on top of that and keep you posted as we find out more information. Let's go into the NFT markets before we end today. The sales volume over the last 24 hours is a little over 23 million at about 23.7. And as you can see, we have some new players in the top collectible sales. Number one was a $521,000 sale of a CyberKongz VX. CyberKongz is a NFT project that has been around for a while. And when we say a while, that means about a year and a half or so. NFTs, particularly PFP projects, are still very new outside of CryptoPunks, which is considered the first PFP project on the Ethereum blockchain. As usual, you're going to see a CryptoPunk sale in the top 5, as well as a Bored Ape Yacht Club sale. This is a Sandbox, which is a metaverse land play, as we call it. You can buy land as in a part of the Sandbox metaverse, and then we also have an Azuki that was sold for $165,000. So if we look at the top 10 in terms of sales, Bored Ape Yacht Club as usual, Mutant Ape Yacht Club in the top 2, and a new entrant into the cryptocurrency, or I should say the NFT space, is Donald Trump. The former U.S. president announced that he is selling his digital trading cards. He is doing it, interestingly enough, using the Polygon cryptocurrency, which is a layer 2 smart contract platform on top of Ethereum, known to be a little bit faster and more scalable than the Ethereum layer 1 blockchain. So his digital trading cards have done well, very well. It was 45,000 NFTs that he sold for $99. So basically, he made about $4.5 million on the primary sale, and now he's done over 1.6 million in the secondary markets. And apparently these trading cards are flying off the shelf. There's a lot of trading activity currently for those digital trading cards. So it'll be interesting to see how well they do over time. Donald Trump obviously still has a lot of popularity, so it'll be interesting to see what they do in the long term. Clone X still in the top 10, sitting at number 4 currently. Mutant Hound Collars is a new entrant. We have Azuki, Doodles. Hash Mask is a NFT project that has been around for a while. Very interestingly, they are now up in the top 10. They've done fairly well over the long term, but I'm not exactly sure why they've jumped back up into the top 10 in volume, but they are doing very well at nearly $800,000 over the past 24 hours. So that is the current cryptocurrency market and NFT market and some of the major news. The other major news that occurred was that we had a Senate hearing related to the FTX bankruptcy, as well as talking about cryptocurrencies in general and the need for crypto regulation. A lot of people in Congress in particular are still very unknowledgeable, unfortunately, about cryptocurrencies. And so they are hopefully learning with some of these hearings and will do their own due diligence before they make any legislation. But they did have the new CEO of FTX testify, amongst many others. A lot of questions were asked. Some were reasonable questions, some not so much, but the Senate Banking Committee invited 4 witnesses, including Shark Tank's host Kevin O'Leary, who has been in the news a lot because he's been very supportive of Sam Bankman-Fried, as he was a paid spokesperson for FTX, paid $15 million for his spokesperson gig, and he supposedly lost upwards of $11 million in funds that he invested as a venture capitalist, as well as nearly $10 million that he had on his FTX account. So we don't know exactly how much he actually lost, given that he was paid $15 million as a spokesperson, but he has been out front and center in mainstream media discussing the FTX bankruptcy and his willingness to help with regards to finding out as much information possible and how to get back some of these customer funds. So time will tell. A lot of this is still developing. So we just wanted to give you a little bit of an update of what's going on in the news currently. A lot going on in the cryptocurrency markets as well as the NFT markets. It's never slow around these parts. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. In the meantime, take care. We look forward to linking up with you soon on the network chain. Bye-bye.